Well, we're looking, Rick, at our 38 competitors who participated in this final Hawaiian Open tournament of the summer. The largest field, possibly helped out a little bit by the fishing season being over and also league starting up pretty soon.
That's right. The winter season is just about around the corner. Some of the bowlers coming in to get the competitive drive going against. The show should be interesting today. We have Barb Benbow, who's the only lady in Anchorage to ever shoot a 300. We also have 3 new players that have never been on TV.
Well, it was a good competition in the qualifying, and it looks like it's going to be even more so here in the finals.
That's right. We're looking for a good show today.
Our first match today will feature Barb Benbow, our first woman who bowled a 300 in Anchorage, and also the first woman to appear in one of our TV tournaments. She'll be taking on Dan Stevens, a junior varsity football coach from Diamond High. And back at the East 40 Bowl, Tom Miller along with Rick Smythe as we get set for the first match in our finals of the Hawaiian Airlines Open. Dan Stevens going against Barbara Benbow.
That's right, Tom. Dan Stevens, first time on TV. 5-step approach. Solid bowler. Leaves the washout.
Dan, one of 3 new faces in this month's tournament. We've got 3 veterans and 3 new faces, including our first woman bowler.
That's right. Barb Benbow is the first lady on TV, so it's exciting to watch her bowl. She's one of the better bowlers in Anchorage, men and women combined. As we watch Dan go for the washout, takes 2 off.
Both Dan and Barbara come in fairly even. Barbara with a 12-pin handicap, Dan 15.
So there's 3 pins separating the bowlers as we watch Barb's first shot. 4-step approach.
And a good start. She's got a good following here, too. I know we've talked in our past tournaments about with the 5-competitor field we've had a couple of women just miss out on making it. We've got 6 here with the expanded time this week, and Barbara managing to slip in this time.
She snuck right in there. So watch her on the left lane. If she gets a strike here, there'll be a lot of pressure put on Dan Stevens. The ball didn't quite come up for her that time, Tom. And on the right lane, as you watch the hook cross Brooklyn, and the left lane that she's shooting at now, the ball didn't quite come up. You see her leave the 2-4-5. Once again, it's a hard urethane bowling ball. She should stand in the middle of the lane around her strike shot. Shoot over her strike target.
Good smooth approach, and she converts. Both Barbara and Dan have real smooth approaches. Dan especially, he'll drop that ball. You can hardly hear it hit the lane.
It's a good point. 5-step delivery. On the second arrow. Ball didn't quite finish. I think that's a little case of the nerves right now, Tom. You can see that on the right lane, Barb, when she threw the shot, went way left, and now Dan's ball didn't quite come up. See if he has the jitters or if he needs to make an adjustment.
So that time, Dan picks up his strike. I know these first bowlers especially, we had the finishing of the qualifying prior to the finals here, and they've had to sit around a little bit, and you wonder whether or not they might get a little bit stiff, a little bit tight, have to get loose in the early going.
That's a good point. The body changes a little bit, the mind starts working if they're going to bowl as well as they have in the qualifying and finals, or if they're going to struggle a little bit. Seems like Dan's struggling a little bit on both lanes. The ball's not finishing for him.
He's not left himself with easy spares either.
No, and with the sound of the gallery in the back rooting for Barb, he has a lot of people bowling against. Left lane. Tough split.
And again, leaves it open. So Dan right now on the lucky side, only 3 pins down as far as the handicap goes, but still has himself a ways to come back.
That's right. He's really burying himself a hole, and if Barb were to strike these next 2 shots, she'd throw some dirt right on him.
Well, she didn't leave herself with an easy one either.
Once again, that's a washout. for the viewers at home, the difference between a washout and a split is with the head pin standing. Anytime the head pin is standing, it's a washout. If it was just a 210, then it would have been a split. Right lane, East 40 bull, Barb Benbow. Going for the washout conversion. Needs to get on the left side of the head pin. Very close. It's a good shot for Barb.
So Dan back in it now as he has gone 8 pins down instead of the early going 11 as he started out. Almost 11. Barb, good smooth delivery, and came in a little high that time.
I think the bowler's a little confused right now. They haven't lined up. The TV lights are glaring. First time being on TV.
Now, one of the big things to Barbara's credit was a recent 300 game that she bowled.
That's right. She's the first lady in Anchorage to ever bowl the sanctioned 300. And the second lady in all of Alaska. So watch her convert to spare. Good cover. So when she gets in that pressure situation, we should see her talents come through as we watch Dan Stevens.
He got himself a new ball. See what that might do.
This one seems to hook a little more for him. And as you can see, it did.
Connected well that time. Probably thinking, why did I start with it?
Yes, that's why they gave you 2 shots each frame. This is an important shot for Dan. With the strike here, would put him back in the ball game. It's an important shot. Using a softer urethane bowling ball.
And again, looking good, but doesn't quite carry enough.
You can see that ball's hooked on the back end. Really snapped off for him. Remember on that lane, he left the washout the first frame, and then he left the 278, which indicated the ball didn't come up, and now he grabs a different ball, and the ball's hooking a lot more for him. He needs to make his adjustments quickly. Stand on the left side of the approach, going cross lane for the 3-6.
Ooh, that one just got a piece, wouldn't take it out.
Okay, Barb Benbow is up. She's using a harder ball, Tom. Particular ball she's using is a hard AMF angle, which she would have to point the ball up or go a little bit straighter. As you can see, it goes straight down the lane. Strike.
Yeah, a good solid strike.
The advantage of her using that ball, Tom, is that the ball will not overreact for it. It goes fairly straight, and it does basically the same thing. Whereas you can see Dan's ball hooks much more, and if he doesn't make the correct adjustment, it's going to skid too far. So Dan needs to be thinking about his next shot as we watch Barb Benbow on lane 3.
Hard. He's talking to himself and really trying to compose what he's doing wrong.
Whoa. Barb got the ball a little bit too wide on that shot. There's the difference you can see with the harder ball. When she threw it out to the right, it did not come back, where Dan's ball, when he throws his to the right, it will come screaming back for him.
Got a break on that one, though.
That's right. She's kicked out the 10 pin. So now, instead of having a washout, she just has a spare to shoot at.
And she left one, so it's still anybody's game.
I think that's the case, Tom. No one wants to win this game. Dan Stevens up on the right lane. Needs to stand further left with his feet, swing the ball further out. Watch the ball hook back. Watch this one come screaming back. There you go.
Got that one.
Good adjustment for Dan. You see that time with the softer ball? It'll swing back for you once you throw it further out. The ball
now he goes to the left lane where he's had his problems. That's where his opens have been.
That's right. It's a good point. Remember, he's left the washout, 278. He came up high the last shot. Looks like he's moving a little bit further left with his feet. Swinging the ball further out. And?
Yeah, got a good one off of that.
What's Brooklyn? That put him back in the game, Tom. It's a 2-pin game at this point. So watch Barb Benbow get up on the right lane. 4-step approach. Excellent bowler. And she once again goes Brooklyn. Leaves in 10-pin.
Looks like she kind of pulled up short there on her delivery, and that might have just been the margin of error that it took not to get that 10-pin.
You heard the gallery behind pulling for her. I think she's That's put some additional pressure on her. First time on TV. She can handle the pressure, though. Excellent bowler. She goes for a 10-pin. Good cover. Barb is an avid bowler, obviously, and she's involved in the junior program and involved with the bowling around town, along with her family. Her husband, Tom Benbow, is also an excellent bowler and involved in bowling. Once again, Barb Benbow, left lane. Oh, it sounded like she dropped that ball.
Yeah, a little early. Good. She came out pretty lucky, and she knows he came out lucky on that, as she only left 3 when she could have possibly had a split.
That's right. Good point. She needs to stand left, as you can watch her move her feet left. Looking at the third arrow, going cross lane. 4-step delivery the same way every time. Excellent bowler. She converts.
So some pressure can be put on by Dan Stevens now with another mark. That would put him 2 pins ahead.
That's right. Plus, if he strikes, that put him up about 12 pins. A very important shot for Dan. Swings the ball out. Didn't quite finish. And then he left himself a tough split.
So that puts him tied through 6.
That's right. He needs to convert to stay 3 pins ahead of Barb. Both of the bowlers have 105 in the 6th. When he picks this up, he will have 125 in the 7th.
Dude, he chopped it again.
There again, you can see that ball that hooks. Just hooked a little bit too much for Tom. Excuse me, for Dan. Dan's particular bowling ball that he's using is an Ebonite Thunderbolt, which is soft, and as you can see, it does hook on the back end. This has been his tough lane. He hasn't hit it yet. He's standing far left on the approach again. Needs to swing the ball out. Looks like he got it out there. There you go. Great shot.
So it's still pretty much anyone's game here as we get down to the final 2 frames.
Dan has 133 in the 8th, and he's on a strike. If Barb were to strike at this point, she'd have 142. So we're coming down the 9th and 10th frame once again, Tom.
Good smooth drop, and again at 10, being stubborn for Barb on that right side, not wanting to go down.
That was an excellent shot for Barb, but there's the result of using a little bit harder ball. Tom, when the ball hits the pins, it deflects and sends a 6-pin flying around the 10. That was a great shot for Barb.
She wants a mark to keep the pressure on Dan.
Important shot. Needs to convert this 10-pin. Very good. Excellent spare shooter. Barb is currently averaging 187. As we mentioned earlier, her high game is 300. And her high series is 669. Excellent bowling. She has 2 children, Carol and Kathy, and they're both rooting for her. Standing to the right of the approach, you can see the difference between her and Dan. Going straight up the board, and it swung too far.
Dropped short again.
There again is washout. That can turn this game upside down.
It sure could if she doesn't convert.
That's right.
She's left the door wide open, and it's up to Dan to walk through it.
If she does not convert, Dan simply needs a spare or mark. Mark of any kind. This is an important shot for Barb. In order for her to win this, she's going to need this conversion right here.
Almost, but...
Okay, this is a situation. Dan needs a mark of any kind. Must mark. On the right lane, needs to swing the ball out and trust it. Here it comes.
And, stubborn
over.
7 pins, so he's got to get the spare.
That's right. He must pick up this spare to win. Barb has 166 in the 10th. If Dan were to miss this, he would shoot 161. So this is a very important shot for Dan. If he converts it, shoot 170. Cross lane.
And he's got it. So Dan Stevens survives a scare to win the first round as he knocks off Barb Benbow. And we'll be back with our second match right after this. Stevens continuing his quest to try and get into the championship, taking on one of our 3 TV veterans today, Wayne Blackwell. And back at the south, or the east, I got the right one, the east 40 pole. Tom Miller along with Rick Smythe keep flip-flopping for this summer tournament. Second match, Dan Stevens going against Wayne Blackwell.
Should be an interesting match. Tom. Wayne was on the show last time it was held here at East 40 Bowl. So he's had some experience on TV as watching Joe Brooklyn.
Wayne's the type of bowler, when he's on his game, he can really give you a good bowling lesson.
That's right, and talking to him earlier, he has had 2 300s in 1978. It's an excellent year for him. As we watch Dan Stevens up on the right lane, swing the ball out to the right, and Dan could be tough this match in that he's made his adjustment with his equipment that you noticed, Tom. And the ball, he's starting to loosen up, and the ball's starting to work for him.
Well, he's thankful for having the new life because he was really on the ropes in that first match against Barb Benbow, but managed to hang on and defeat her by 7 pins.
That's right, 173 to 166.
Dan converts on his first spare.
We have two bowlers that are contrasting styles. Dan with that softer bowling ball is swinging the ball to the right and having it come back, and Wayne Blackwell is throwing straight down the lanes, and at times he's even pointing the ball up, throwing it from right to left. Watch how far to left Dan is standing, and swinging the ball way out to about 5 board. So he's getting pumped up.
Well, that ball was halfway down the alley. He knew that one was good.
Good shot.
Good head-to-head match. We got, as we said, Dan with a 15-pin handicap, Wayne 14. So really not a whole lot of difference to try and make up between either bowler.
That's right. It's basically scratched. The 1 pin's insignificant right now for sure. Goes Brooklyn, and he gets the Brooklyn shot. Wayne's not quite lined up yet on the lanes.
Got the strike, but he didn't look like he was too happy with how he got it.
If we can take a back view of Wayne and we'll compare it with Dan, you see how Wayne is standing in the middle of the approach as he places his right foot down. Watch his ball how it goes straight up the lanes and even a little bit to pointing up to the pocket. 5-step approach. See how it's going across lane and into the pocket. Great shot.
Just where he wanted that time.
Well, that put a lot of pressure on Dan.
He's pretty consistent with his delivery. He'll go out there, make his follow through, and just pretty much like a statue hold it till that ball connects.
It's a good sign for him when he's not doing that. It indicates he didn't throw the ball that well. As we watch Dan Stevens on the right lane, swing the ball wide out, and didn't quite finish for him. I think what the result of that leave that he just left was those 3 strikes that Wayne Blackwell threw. He went Brooklyn on the first 2, then he threw the pocket shot on the 3rd strike, where Dan has hit the pocket both times, the first and second shot. And Dan finds himself behind. Must stay with it, convert a spare. Okay.
Takes them both out.
It's a good cover for him. Okay, let's watch Dan from the rear.
You can pretty much tell when he figures he's going to get a good hit.
That's right, you can see the body English. See how he's standing way to left? Remember, Wayne was standing in the middle of the approach. Dan's standing far to the left, 5-step approach. Let's watch how far out the ball swings to the right. Swings way out and comes back. Great camera work.
Didn't like that one either. He took a long look at it.
Once again, you can see he cut his follow-through short. And that indicates the pressure that Wayne has put on him. You know, the psychological effect here is he's shooting at the 610, a tough spare, wondering if his opponent's ever going to quit striking. Must convert this spare and stay close to the match.
I think Dan has to really start not doing is thinking he's got to get that strike. He's just got to go out there and bowl his game now.
That's a good point, Tom. It's Wayne Blackwell. He's on 3 in a row. This one really put some heat on Dan. At this point, Wayne just wants to think about making a good shot. 5-step approach. It's more deliberate on that shot. Whoa.
Ooh, real light.
Okay, psychological effect now. Dan sits back and is thinking to himself, well, he's not going to strike the entire game. Not only that, Wayne has a tough spare to shoot at. Right-handers do not shoot the 1-3-6-10 that often.
Especially when the ball fades. His fades to the left.
That's right. So that could, there's all kinds of possibilities. I personally think he should stand further left on the approach and shoot cross lane for it. We'll see what happens.
He didn't.
That's why. Okay. Put that
Looks like he took the headpin a little heavy that time. It's too straight on.
That's right, Tom. Had he been a little further left on the approach, the ball could have skidded into the 136, and 6 would have gotten into the 10. But he needs to bear down once again. He has 98 through the 4th. Should Dan get up and strike, he'll have 93. So there's only 5 pins separating the bowlers.
Long look by Wayne this time. He doesn't want to give him another one. That one went right down the pipe.
Good shot for Wayne. And Stevens up on lane 4.
Dan's a tough competitor. He coaches the JV football team over at Diamond High, and I'll tell you, when he's on the field of competition, he is all business. Like that one, you could tell. You get a chance to see him, you can tell when he likes the ball that he's thrown, because he figures it's gone into the pocket long before it's even hit there.
That's right, he's running him out, isn't he? I believe he was a little more relaxed on that last shot because Wayne didn't strike. This is an important shot for Dan. It puts some heat back on Wayne. Whoa.
So, a 5-pin difference now goes to Dan Stevens' favor as he's got to strike up on Wayne Blackwell. So, the pressure is all on Wayne's shoulders. And Wayne
responds. But Wayne, once again, threw a book on him.
So Wayne Blackwell holding his 5-pin advantage right now as we go to the 7th.
That's right, both bowlers have doubles, 2 strikes in a row. Wayne has 98 in the 4th. Dan has 93 in the 4th. But Dan is lined up more in the pocket. Wayne has a tendency to throw it to the left of the headpin. 5-step delivery. There's the adjustment. Wayne had gone to the left side of the headpin about 3 or 4 times that lane. He tried to make the adjustment. The ball didn't quite finish for him.
Again, not an easy spare because you hit that one wrong, you might leave the one in the shadow.
That's right. Sleeper. It's the right foot to line up. Putting his fingers in first. Ah, you see, he's a little unsure now. You can see that in his body reaction. Let's go cross lane for the spare. He gets it. Good shot for Wayne. See how quickly Dan is up on the approach. Getting set. He knows this is an important shot. This would really put some heat back on Wayne.
Oh, he left that one wide open, and he's left himself with a big conversion attempt.
That's a common spare that we've seen left today. The washout. 1-2-4, 10, 1-2-8, 10 in this case. Ball's swinging out. The ball's not quite finishing.
Ken's going to be the tough one.
That's right. Whoa. Hooked a little too much for him.
So Wayne goes back up by 9 through 6, but he's working on a spare in the 7th where Dan has his open.
That's right. There's about 20 pins separating the bowlers. Dan being down 20 pins. Important shot for Dan Stevens right here. Left lane, East 40 bowl. Swings ball out. Needs to come back. And gets it. He trusted that shot. That was a great shot for Dan. Wayne Blackwell hasn't been lined up into the pocket yet. He's struggled a few times. Again, puts his fingers in first. And his thumb.
Still a big shot for him.
Sure is. In the 8th frame. And.
Ooh, got a little bit of action there, but still left one.
That's right, through 7 frames, Tom. Wayne Blackwell has 164. Dan Stevens has 145. Watch Wayne Blackwell go for the spare. Good cover.
He's got it. Still up by 20 pins, 19 pins to be exact. Wayne working on the spare, Dan working on the strike. But Dan's got to string a couple together.
That's right, Dan is definitely down. It's important shots for Dan when he comes up, but Wayne is up in the 9th frame. This put a lot of pressure on Dan when he gets up. Important shot. And
good solid hit that time for Wayne Blackwell, putting the pressure back on.
Responded to the call. Dan must get this strike. If Dan, the best Dan could do if he were a strikeout would be 233. Wayne Blackwell, if he strikes out, would be 244. So, although Dan cannot close out Wayne, he must get these strikes, puts the pressure back on him. Whoa, too far out.
Yeah, that's what killed him in the 7th. Went too far out, and the ball didn't come back in.
He's expecting that hard ball to, that soft ball to grip the lanes and hook. And it didn't quite come back for him.
Wayne Blackwell pretty much in the driver's seat right now.
That's right. And
really puts himself in as Dan Stevens opens.
Okay, Tom, the best Dan can do is shoot 201, but he must throw these next 3 strikes in the 10th frame. And Wayne Blackwell will simply need a good count. But Dan must throw these strikes. These ring in 10. So the best Dan can shoot is 191. Wayne Blackwell already has 194 on the scoreboard.
I mentioned before that we have the 2 types of lanes, the regular wood here at East 40, and a big open again for Dan Stevens. So that closes the door on him as Wayne Blackwell wins the second match. But as we said, the different types of lanes, and that very much could have an impact.
That's right. It's a good point, Tom. The wooden lanes right now are hooking more for the bowlers. The synthetic lanes at South 40 are a little tighter, a little more conditioner on the lane. So watch Wayne Blackwell up on the right lane in the 10th frame. He should practice now. He should just move around a little bit, try to find something for next game. Once again, he's going Brooklyn.
Leaves the 5. Nobody misses the 5, Ray.
Whoops. I'm glad you said that. Here we go again, huh? What Wayne should do is throw his normal strike target. Needs to pick up the 5-pin.
And he does. So as we said, Wayne Blackwell, the winner of our second match, he takes on Ray Cox in our third, and we'll be back with that right after this. Match, Wayne Blackwell, after defeating Dan Stevens, will take on Ray Cox. It's a matchup of 2 TV veterans. Cox last month finishing runner-up in the tournament. And back at the East 40 Bowl, Tom Miller, Rick Smythe, as we have our third match of the tournament, the finals of the tournament, and it features Ray Cox and Wayne Blackwell, a couple of veterans.
That's right. Tom, Ray has been on the show before. He made the show last month at South 40 Bowl. Now you have me doing it.
Gotta quit switching.
Ray Cox leaving the 7-pin on the left lane. Needs to stand a little bit to the right of his strike target. Shoot his aim strike target and have the ball swing across the lane and get the 7-pin.
Converts. It's really bad. We got the sign down at the other end. We still can't read it right. Wayne Blackwell, who advanced with a win over Dan Stevens in our second match.
That's right. He had shot 222 to Dan Stevens 180. Let's watch him on the right lane. 5-step delivery. And hasn't quite found the pocket. He's getting into competitions that the competitor's a little tougher in the topper of the field. So if he's going to start winning these next few matches, he's going to start hitting the pocket and get some strikes. If he's able to get through that last match, Ray's going to be a little tougher for him.
This isn't the time to really experiment.
That's correct. Stand on the left side of the approach, going cross lane against the 10 pin. Good cover. This is again a handicap event. Wayne Blackwell has 14 pins to Ray Cox's 5 pins.
So Ray's got to make up a 9-pin advantage.
Left lane, Wayne Blackwell taking a lot of time on the approach. He'll start with his left foot. Slide on his left foot. Good shot for Wayne.
And not quite. Doesn't take out the 5.
Doesn't get that pin reaction off the kickboards.
I'm telling you, he doesn't feel his game's on. He takes a little bit longer on that approach.
That's a good point. Once again, he leaves the 5 pin, so he needs to shoot his normal strike target. Good conversion. Ray Cox is up on the right lane, standing in the middle of the approach. 5-step delivery.
He fires that one.
Whoa, it's a good shot for Ray.
It worked as he picked up the strike. And is now down 8 pins through the first frame.
That's right. If he was to strike on this next shot, he would be up by 2 pins. Important shot for Ray Cox. East 40 bowl. Must strike to get some heat back on Wayne Blackwell. Whoa.
Whoa.
He goes Brooklyn.
You didn't think that one was going to go, did you?
I heard the first bounce. Man.
Ray looks at you, too. Didn't trust me, did you?
Play basketball out here.
As long as they go down, doesn't matter how, right?
Well, that's right. Looks good up on the scoreboard, doesn't it? And Wayne, good shot for Wayne. 53 in the second on a strike. This is also an important shot for Wayne. As you can see him drying his hand. Again, he's standing in the middle of the approach. He gets set with his right foot. You'll watch his left foot get started. Takes a 5-step approach. He'll be coming in from about the second or third arrow, pointing the ball up. See the ball point up and come up.
And another good solid hit. So he keeps the pressure on, keeps his margin now, because if Ray converts, he'll be up by 3 pins.
Right, this is a
2 pins.
2 pins. Ray needs this one to stay up by 2 pins. Ooh, the fast 8. Remember Archie Temp leaving a fast 8 on that lane a couple months ago that cost him. Archie being from Arizona State.
My director says, is there anything such as a slow lane?
Yeah, I thought we took his mic away, Tom. As a matter of fact, there is. There is a difference between a slow lane and a fast lane. Fast lane has a lot of conditioner on the lane, and the oil makes the ball skid faster down the lane, not hooking. And a slow lane is when the ball hooks a lot and hooks too much.
And it grips a little better?
That's correct. Now let's take his mic away. Left lane, Ray Cox.
Oh, and Ray says he wants to hit the arrow. He means halfway down the lane.
So he gets it on the first bounce, doesn't he? If you watch the reason Ray does loft the ball out is his left leg when he slides is a little stiff right there. See how stiff the leg at his foot is? Excuse me, his knee is?
They're all connected.
Thanks, Tom. You guys have really helped me out today.
Need another vacation, I think.
General area, you know? Still hung up on that slow lane. Wayne Blackwell. He's on a double. This one would put a lot of pressure on Ray. 5-step delivery. Cross lane again. Here's the Brooklyn.
Pins collided on their way back, didn't take out. The 6, so
we have about a 10-pin difference between the two bowlers. And
Wayne pretty much maintaining the handicap lead, so Ray has not been able to make that up.
That's a good point, Tom. Halfway through the game. Ray Cox has 92 in the fourth. Wayne Blackwell has 102 in the fourth. 10 pins separating two bowlers.
I imagine a tournament like this, when you come in down a few pins on handicap, you can't go out there and try to make it up all at one swoop.
That's correct.
Put yourself in a bind.
That's a good point. There's 10 frames in the game. Both bowlers get 10 frames. Just need to make sure that you either don't make the mistake or get the breaks. Wayne Blackwell, left lane.
And he's definitely getting the breaks in this match against Ray Cox.
That's right. Good shot for Wayne. Answering the call. Ray Cox, right lane, needs to start throwing some strikes. Let's watch his left knee as he slides. Right, stiff, how stiff that is right there as we watch the ball go down the lane. And he gets the crusher. Okay, the result of Ray's knee being stiff when he releases it is the distance that it goes out on the lane. Let's watch this as how far out the ball goes on the lane. Woo! See how far that is? And he struck. It's a good shot.
As long as it's consistent.
It's natural for him. That's important. Wayne Blackwell needs to throw this strike here. Put some pressure back on. Ready to keep that 10-pin advantage. Important shot. Blackwell. He doesn't get the break.
Well, he got a little bit of one. He almost left himself a split.
That's right. He's a pesky 4-pin. Let's convert this to stay within a
now
pin or
he
two.
converts and Ray strikes. It's dead even through 6.
That's right, but with the double that Ray would get, he would be up 10 pins. So Wayne's job at this point is to get this off up for the next shot. Cross lane.
Climbing with this stiff, Ray. A little deeper. That's right now.
You can feel Ray breathing down his neck.
And no!
He got it!
Gets it. Let's see if that unnerved Ray. Ray needs to throw this strike.
Now that was a slow lane because it didn't drop quick enough to pick the pin up.
That's right. That's a slow lane, Tom. Glad you answered that for Pat.
Ray leaves himself one, so we got a one pin difference through 6. And we could be still 1 pin the opposite way through 7.
That's right. Ray's down with the spare. Ray's down 1 pin. In the 7th, he'll have 161, and Wayne Blackwell already has 162. Whoa, and
Ray
he almost throws it away.
Well, if he'd had the 10 over there, he'd have taken it out.
Maybe he was
remember
practicing
that.
that. Yeah, sure. He's thinking to himself, Rick probably doesn't think I'm that accurate. Okay, 9th frame. Both bowlers are in the 9th frame. Ray's must throw a strike. Keeps the pressure back on Wayne Blackwell. Let's watch him. Stiff kneed again right there. Throw the ball further out on the lane. Have the ball hooked. Ring and 10 again. That was a good shot for Ray, though. As you see him go to a harder ball, it's going to go a lot straighter for him. Shoot cross lane for the 10-pin. See him move to the left of the approach.
You got to be hoping for some outside help right now because with that strike up by Wayne.
Whoa.
And it do.
That was a mistake. Even with that spare, he needed that spare, and Wayne would have needed to mark.
He rushed it. I think he knows it.
Yeah. Okay, Wayne he's on a strike. Needs a strike at this point. Or spare, just keeps the pressure on him. Now he's wondering whether he should go offensively or defensively at this point. Just take it easy, or he should go for it. He's well ahead in the match, but he still needs to go for it, and he does.
Yeah, he's got it. Puts himself in good position right now with that open in the 9th by Ray Cox.
That's right. If Wayne's in the 10th frame, if he were to strike out, he would shoot 252. The best Ray Cox can do is 219. That was a costly spare that Ray missed. He's close up with Wayne. You see him get his hand set. Take one step right there and then push the ball away. Great shot.
Oh, didn't get the break on that one. Looked a little bit light, not quite solid in the pocket.
That's right, didn't quite come up for him. That puts a different light on the situation, though. If Wayne misses this or gets 9 out, he will have 218, and Ray Cox can strike out for 219.
This isn't a sure spare either.
No, it isn't.
That's a tough one.
He needs to hit to the right side of the 5 pin and slide the 5 into the 7. He's taking extra time on it, but he must get one pin. He needs to make sure he gets one of those pins, otherwise it costs him 2 on score. Because he's on a strike.
He missed it.
That was a...
Didn't look good right from the start.
That's right. So Wayne ends up with 216. Ray Cox can strike out for 219. So that one pin cost Wayne 2 sticks on the score. Situation, Ray Cox must strike twice and get 8 pins to win.
And that is not going to do it. Leaves himself a split, and that's going to leave him an open unless he comes up with one fantastic shot. So that means Wayne Blackwell, still coming the long way around, goes on to take on Ace Cathart in our 4th match, and we'll be back with that right after this. Wayne Blackwell, hot on a roll, tries to keep it going as he goes against Ace Cathart, self-employed mechanic and limo driver. And back with our 4th match, Ace Cathart taking on Wayne Blackwell for the right to take on the tournament leader Scott Buckingham for the final. Wayne Blackwell taking the long way around, having defeated Dan Stevens and Ray Cox.
And he's still rolling. Wayne didn't take any practice shots between these games. After having won the match number 3, 216 to 195 over Ray Cox. We'll take the first look at Ace Cathart.
Hey, I watched Ace and Wayne bowl in a qualifying match earlier. I think you would have to say that Ace has a very unconventional style. I mean, he snaps his wrist out there and throws the ball out without much follow-through, but he generally gets the job done.
He does get good results. He's a fierce competitor. He's always in the matches. He doesn't bowl himself out of them. The particular ball he's using now is a hard urethane bowling ball.
And opens in the 1st.
The bowlers are relatively the same as far as handicap. 4 pins separating the bowlers. Ace has 18. Wayne Blackwell has 14. So Ace has used up his handicap and then some with that open in 1st frame. And watch the pin come across. Will he get it?
Whoop, it hit, but didn't have enough carry. This is Ace's first appearance on TV.
That's right. He's done quite well the first 2 shots. 2nd frame. Leaving a 10 pin as you watch him go cross lane. Looks like he's using a harder or softer bowling ball. And that's the result.
And he left it again.
That's right. You on the spares like that, you want to go to a harder bowling ball so it skids further. And when he went to
He's been using the 2-ball approach throughout the tournament, throwing the blue one out there for the first shot and the red one for the second.
Well, he must know how to do it because I'm watching him talking. My suggestion would be get a harder ball and spares is watch Wayne Blackwell up on the right lane. Strike would put a lot of pressure on Ace having opened twice. And
Well, have to split the uprights on this one.
boy, this could be another one of those games, Tom, where no one wants to win. See the frustration on Wayne's face? He needs to go between the 2 pins, the 4 and the 5. See him wiping the conditioner off on his shirt. Counting the boards over to shoot the split. Puts his fingers in, and you watch his thumb go into the ball. Does the same thing every time he bowls, and that's what you want to do. Get in the same routine.
Puts it out and splits them.
Great shot. Excellent shot. Gallery like that. Let's watch a routine. I've talked about Wayne putting his hand in the ball. See if we can get a close-up shot. Look at, let's watch his fingers. There goes his fingers. Now he's not putting his thumb in right away. There it goes. Great shot. Great camera work. Look at the intensity in his eyes. He's getting set. Watch him jiggle his arm every time. 5-step. There's 2, 3, 4. Nice camera work, guys. Good shot for Wayne.
Plays one up.
That's Jeff Silverman on that camera doing a great job for us.
And Ace has a couple open frames here early. It was a couple of open frames late in the qualifying match between these two that has them flip-flopped in the placing.
Yeah, Ace is definitely not out of the game. He's a competitor. He's sitting down getting his thoughts, thinking about his next shot. You just watch Wayne go across lane for the 4-pin. He gets it.
Hey, Ace is a long way from being out of this. He had one game where he had 3 open frames to start and still finished with a 237 scratch. So that's some tough bowling down the stretch.
At least a 310 split. Left a 5-7 on that lane last time. Ball not coming up quite enough, and then this time it's a 310 where the ball hooked too much for him. You're right, Tom. He's using the softer bowling ball to go across the lane for the spares.
No, it looks like... Yeah, he's got to be feeling frustration right now.
That's right. First time on TV, the lights, different setting. You're bowling in front of all those people. You hit the only one on the approach. It gets pretty lonely. Makes a challenge, though. Good shot.
Looks good. Oh, and it's spun the 10 again.
It's a good shot for Ace. He's converted spare again. Let's see what he does if he goes a harder ball or a softer one. It's like he's grabbing a softer ball. That particular ball he's using is a red hammer. Soft urethane. Just watch it go across lane, and he gets it.
Gets it. Now, sometimes you wonder if maybe the flip-flop in the places was a bit of benefit to Wayne, because he's had the time to loosen up, adjust to the lanes, gotten through into this situation where Ace has had to sit back and watch and now has to make his adjustments in the match.
That's a good point. You don't have much time. Those 10 frames go by very quickly. Watch Wayne leave the 5-pin.
In the 5, he's had trouble with taking that 5 out of there.
Well, this ball goes straighter, Tom, and it doesn't hook quite as much as the other players' bowling balls. Scott Buckingham, you'll watch hook the ball a great deal in the next match. But the result of going straighter, the ball deflects as soon as it hits the head pin. So he'll leave a lot of 5-pins, but he won't get himself in trouble. Good cover.
So the pressure on now by Wayne Blackwell. Hey, Scott Buckingham not taking any chances. He's seen what's been going on in these matches where people have had to sit back and watch, and he's down there warming up.
Wants to be sharp when he comes in. Wayne Blackwell on the left lane has 72 in the third. Ace Cathart has 44 in the third. 28 pins up. Halfway through the game. It's not, whoa, watch the ball go Brooklyn. 6 count. That was...
Well, again, he leaves himself with that tough spare to pick up. He's got the 1 in the dark, and again, his ball fades, so he's going to have to come in, strike, he has to come in the pocket on the strike side, the right side, to pick this one up.
That's right, but this time he doesn't have the 10-pin with it. Remember last time he had the rail, he left the 10-pin. But now he has the 1, 3, 6, 9. Ball needs to come up.
And he got it.
Good cover for him. Okay, Ace has been bowling for 5 years.
Ace needs some big marks right now.
That's right, 4-step delivery.
And he gets one.
Let's see if that will loosen Ace up. See the tension etched on his face. See, and the perspiration on his hand. You can see he's a little tight. He's a little nervous. TV lights. You see him wiping the conditioner off on the lane and his bowling ball. Looking down at his mark. Great shot. Good camera work. Watch his eyes. Very good. Excellent shot.
He got 2. So, like we said, well, here we go. 3 open frames, and now he starts coming back.
That puts him within 15 pins. So we'll watch Wayne up. See if he can respond.
Oh.
You can feel the tide swaying the other way, Tom. Wayne needs to get control of his thoughts and his emotions.
Again, a tough spare.
That's right.
Whenever you got that one in the dark, you always run that risk of chopping something. Wayne gets out. Looked like it started out a little light, but came back in. Took them all. Wayne just can't afford to press right now, though.
No, he needs to stay relaxed. He's up about 11 pins. He just needs to get control of his thoughts again. Make some good shots.
Hits it out, looks good. No, came in a little bit light.
Let's look at this last few counts that he's had, Tom. He's left a 6 count this frame, left a 7 count the last frame, and a 6 count frame before.
Ball just doesn't seem to be tailing in as much as he wants it to.
When he ends up losing 9 pins in count in those last 3 shots, that's as good as a mark. Plus, he's leaving himself tough spares.
Got the dinner bucket this time.
Watch out.
And chop the one in the dark. So Ace right back in it after looked like he had one foot in the grave and the other one ready to follow.
That's right. Bouncing back. He's a competitor. You see him, he's a little more relaxed now. You just tell him his body reactions. A little more relaxed, taking his time getting up to the approach. Important shot for Ace. Cathart. He's 40 ball. He's come up. 7. Ball didn't quite come up for him. Once again, that's the harder ball that he used. Let's get it a little more for him. It's going to be important for Ace as he grabs the softer ball to make sure it doesn't hook too much on the back end for him. Avoid the chop.
Oh. So Ace carries. He's right back in it, down 13 pins now. And I'm working on a spare versus an open.
That's right. So there's about 2 pins separating 2 bowlers. Going down the last 3 frames. Look at this. There's your competitor right now. Ace has 131 in the 7th on a strike. Wayne Blackwell is 133 in the 7th. Now he must respond. You can see that Ace is more relaxed, more content. He's even changed seats, so he's a little more relaxed with himself. He knows he has a chance to win. Especially after opening the first 3 spare frames. Wayne Blackwell must respond. Get a strike right here. Put pressure back on him.
No, and again, leaves himself a tough one.
That's a toughie. Okay, Wayne has 3 children. Matt, Kevin, and Kimberly.
Now he leaves him. Well, he's got the dinner bucket with the handle on this time.
Boy, where are you getting these words? You have a dictionary or what? You've been studying this game.
They call it the Big Dipper. Call it the Big Dipper, right?
Well, that's good. I'm proud of you, Tom. Well, cross
That's
lane
because I leave enough of these.
And he converts it.
I leave enough of these. I know. You know.
If I'm going to leave him, I have to learn how to call him right there. Coming in 9th frame, Wayne Blackwell needs to get a strike at this point to put some pressure back on Ace. He's in the 9th frame. With this strike, he would set himself up for the 10th frame. Once again, you see him put his fingers in and then his thumb. Now watch him jiggle his right arm a little bit. Wayne, you're not listening to me. Next frame. Different routine this time.
It worked.
Ace Cathart up on the right lane. Needs a strike. Puts the pressure back on.
He's got it.
He gets it.
The surprising thing is, Ace is the one who's probably had the worst situation, starting with 3 opens, but it was the 1 open by Wayne Blackwell that's turned this game around.
Good point. That's why you must always stay with it. If you can do it mathematically, Tom, you can do it with that bowling ball. Watch Ace use the blue bowling ball in the left lane.
Coming in and not getting the action that time. A little bit light.
That was an important shot. He must get the spare. With that 8 count, he's only up 6 pins. He's get the spare. Put pressure back on Wayne.
Ooh, gonna have to come the long way and does
Gets
it.
Woo!
That took the scenic tour before that one connected.
Using the blue ball that time.
Wondering which alley we were shooting at.
Must get good count. Wayne Blackwell can strike out for 213. With the strike on this ball, Ace will shoot 199. 197 for Ace. It's a good game for him. First time on TV.
So now we'll see whether Wayne can respond.
Wayne must get this first strike. If Wayne does not get this first strike, his tournament is over. Must get first strike and good count. See if he goes through the same ritual. There's his fingers. There's his thumb. Let's watch the elbow. See if he does that. There it is, right there. It's the same ritual that he's been doing in the past.
Pressure's on.
Must strike right here. Needs a strike.
Oh, right down the middle.
Right through the heart.
Didn't come out as bad as he could have. Well, actually, he did because that pretty much puts...
It's all over.
It's all over.
So Ace Cathart will advance, bowl the championship match against Scott Buckingham. So watch Wayne Blackwell on the left lane. Excuse me, on the left side of the approach. Shoot cross lane for the 10 pin. We'll call it.
So it'll be Ace Cathart going against Scott Buckingham for this tournament's championship right after this. Cathart will be taking on Scott Buckingham in our championship. Buckingham looking for his first win in 6 TV tournament appearances. And back at the East 40 Bowl, Tom Miller along with Rick Smythe. It's for all the marbles. It's Scott Buckingham and Ace Cathart in the championship of this Hawaiian Open tournament. And I'll tell you, if Ace picks up where he left off, Scott could really be in a lot of trouble because Ace has an 18-pin handicap and he starts it with a strike.
That's right. Good point, Tom. Scott Buckingham has never won a TV tournament. He's been on TV several times in the past. Has yet to win one. So there's a lot of pressure on Tom, especially Ace starting out with a strike like that. Scott coming out and throwing a split. 310 baby split.
You got to feel that Ace Cathart right now has a lot of confidence flowing within himself after coming from way down at that first, or in that last match. Scott starts out in trouble, leaving it open in the first.
Ace has to feel comfortable with his performance. He's done well for himself. Once again, he's sitting in the back seat. He's relaxed. He does feel comfortable. Scott Buckingham's up on the left lane at East 40 Bowl, swings the ball out, gets back and kicks the 4 outs. Good shot for Scott. The sportsmanship between the two of the bowlers, as you can see, giving each other 5.
Scott's aspirations to be on the PBA tour.
Ace Cathart with this strike would put a lot of pressure on Scott, and he doesn't get it. Okay. Scott has been on the tour before in the past. He's done quite well. At 27 years of age, he wants to go back out and do it again. Ace Cathart, right lane, going cross lane for the 6 pin.
And he gets that one out of there. Scott's bio sheet says, "Where do you work?" Says, "Nobody's accused me of that yet."
He wanted to do the same thing that Lynn did last year. Lynn Osterwald. All right, ditto on it.
Same thing I wrote last month.
That's it. Nice.
Whoa, get some action off of that one.
Okay, Scott Buckingham gets up on the third frame, finds himself down 29 pins. He's only thrown 2 shots and he's down 29 pins. The 18 pins handicap, and then he's lost 11 on that open. He's up on a strike. This is an important shot for Scott Buckingham. Looks like he got through it real well. I wasn't too happy with that shot. I believe he just tried a little bit too hard, put a little muscle into it. As you watch him go to a harder bowling ball, it's going to go straighter for him.
It's got to be hard for a scratch bowler like Scott, being down 18 pins right from the start.
And then opening it, put some pressure on him. Scott's been through the pressure situation several times in his past. If a classic bowler like this can get started and get rolling with some strikes in the early part, the 18 pins won't mean anything to him. But Ace is starting to throw some strikes. You can see Ace once again sitting back, relaxed in the back seat. Scott, 5-step approach, stand down with the shot, getting through it. Good shot. Ring at 10.
Running around the 10.
Here you go. Remember, Scott hasn't won a TV tournament yet. He's been close several times as he changes bowling balls. And there's the result of trying a little bit too hard. Hitting the ball a little bit harder on the upswing, or speed of the ball a little bit too quick makes the pins fly around. Notice how straight the ball went. Ace Cathart up on the right lane. He's on a strike.
Scott with a current average of 211. What was he, about 220 during the tournament? Somewhere around there?
He's knocked down a few pins. Just watch Ace. Whoa. He's loose. He's relaxed. See in his eyes, he's a little more relaxed.
Ace hasn't been having any problem either. He's been up there around the 190s. When you got an 18-pin handicap to work for you, too.
You do loosen up, huh? He's watching from the rear position, bends his knees, 4-step, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Good shot. Watch this.
Oh, boy, he's getting action now. What do they say, when you're hot, you're hot?
He's relaxed. You can tell the tension in his face is gone. You see him relax a little more in the back. You see Scott now starting to press. Scott's leaving ringing 10s. He's only throwing 1 strike. See if he just throws the normal shot or if he amps it up a little more. Watch this. Too much. Looks like the right lane is getting Scott.
Actually, he's having trouble the whole right side. What did that indicate? He's left the 10, now the 6-10.
He's just pressing. He wants to win badly. He gets up and leaves a 3-10. The ball comes a little bit high, and that's what's happening on the right lane for him. The ball's finishing too much for him. And his opponent is, out of 5 frames, has thrown 4 strikes. And plus, he has to give him 18 pins. So Scott's just simply pressing right now. Needs to relax, gain his thoughts, just throw good shots. And there's one. It's a good shot for Scott.
Definite solid hit on that one.
I believe that was called a can opener. Let me borrow your dictionary. Rip the 5 into the 7. Ace Cathart up on the right lane. He's on 3 in a row. I thought we took his mic away. Needs a strike. Oh, baby. We talked, I believe it was the 3rd match when match number 2, when Wayne was throwing the strikes against Dan Stevens. Now Scott's wondering if Ace is ever going to quit striking. Because that's the only way this guy can win, is if Ace quits striking.
Hey, the way Ace is bowling, he'd be in the lead right now without the 18 pins.
You're right. Good point. This one is... What is it?
Whoa.
He's got me excited in this game. It's a great shot for Ace. Ace has 147 in the 5th. Scott Buckingham has 86 in the 5th. So there's 61 pins difference separating 2 bowlers, and we're halfway through the match. A lot of pressure for a bowler like Scott to be on.
Ooh, now Ace is left.
Well, I guess if you throw enough strikes, you don't need those spares, do you? Just kidding. The spares are important. As you can see, that was 11 pin.
Scott's got to start stringing some strikes together, though.
Must start right here. He's on a strike. Scott is capable of going off the sheet if he needs it here. Gets it.
You're looking at some of those spares that have been missed. Looks like, maybe a little complacency. Everything seems to be going good. You'll throw it out there a little bit too loose.
That's right. Once again, there's no defense in the game of bowling. Must offensively go for it. Continue to bear down and throw strikes as you watch Scott. Bearing down, must strike. Must get this strike. Put some heat back on Ace. He gets it. Okay, let's watch the tension in Ace's face.
Well, he's back in there down 50-some pins, but he's trying to cut that advantage now and hoping to take advantage of that open. Well, we had one open in the last game that spelled the whole difference.
Scott's down 30 pins. That can swing either way. Ace's job right now is to throw strikes back at him. Get back in the game.
Yeah, he does.
Nice shot.
I think he's a little mad at himself for missing that spare.
Sometimes that'll do it. You get pumped up, get down on yourself a little bit, disgusted. You see Scott sitting down. All he wants is the shot. He just wants to have a chance. The strike right here by Ace. Scott's chances would be greatly reduced. Right lane at South 40.
Wrong place again, see?
See that? I know I can call it South 40. I said it was right lane, it was the left lane.
You're being school.
I should do that. I need your dictionary, bowling dictionary. My left and right. Actually, I was a surveyor at one point. Scott Buckingham needs a strike.
I'm not going to think of which road and acreage you built.
Good shot.
So that might be a little too late for Scott Buckingham.
Yes, Scott must strike out for 236. And Ace Cathart is going at a 236 clip. Excuse me, 235 clip. So,
yeah, we'll see. While we're in the 10th, so Scott could put the pressure on.
That's right. Scott must strike out. Even have a chance. Needs 3 strikes right here.
Ooh, that hurt.
That will do it, as you heard Scott say.
Now the big thing is Ace can't open.
The best Scott can do at this point is shoot 214. And Ace, with a count, will shoot approximately 220, just with a good count. He doesn't even need doesn't even need a mark.
So just go down the middle, huh?
Well, there again. 214 for Scott. No, you want to throw your strike. You want to get in a routine of throwing your strike target, strike ball. And at this point, this is when you push yourself rather than just throwing it down the middle. Just get out there and have some guts and throw it where you need to. Throw a strike at it.
Tell you, can't say enough about Ace's bowling tonight, boys. Starting out in such terrible shape. Coming back to beat the tournament leader in a big fashion, not even needing the handicap to do it.
That's right. Excellent showing for Ace. This will loosen him up. He'll win some more tournaments in the future. Gain some confidence for this. Remember, he's only been bowling 5 years. He's currently a mechanic and driver for Regal Limousine, so he'll have some stories to tell with this one.
Maybe he practices in the limo.
Very good.
I've seen a few around town that you can practice in, too.
Yeah. Put a bowling lane in there. Maybe that's where he's practicing. He wrote down that in a bio sheet, who is your toughest opponent of the 6 finalists, and he writes down Scott Buckingham. And he showed up to play against Scott. 265 if he were to strike.
And he does. Great showing for Ace Cathart, who's our winner in this final Hawaiian Open of the summer, and we'll be back right after this. Back at the East 40 Bowl for the presentation of the prize money to today's finalists. 6th place, Barbara Benbow. 5th place, Dan Stevens. 4th place, Ray Cox. 3rd place, Wayne Blackwell. 2nd place, Scott Buckingham. And our winner, Ace Cathart, with a great come-from-behind win. On behalf of Rick Smythe, I'm Tom Miller. Thanks for joining us.